What's up, Rags?
What's happening? We
How you
live?
I think we are.
Wow. Excited for this partnership, man. It's been awesome. I think the launch has been amazing so far. So how are you feeling about it?
I'm good. How many waitlist people are we at? How many waitlist signups are we at so far? Do you know?
I actually have to check from the team. I'll actually ask them, but it was 100,000 after just one day, so it's obviously going to be materially higher now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a couple 100,000. I'm trying to get to 500,000 before the launch, if it's possible.
I think we'll get there. I think we'll get there easy. So we also see a huge surge in signups on KAST itself. Obviously, some people were like, maybe I'll just sign up and be able to get it. And I think that's a little bit about what we'll be sharing today as well, in terms of how people can jump on as well. But anyway, I think before we get started, tell us like what's been latest in Pudgy world. Like you guys have been doing, not just us, but like so many different announcements. And then we'll get on to a little bit about the card and how it all came together. I guess people probably want to hear perspective on how this all happened, the partnership. Yeah, we'll just roll it from there. But yeah, firstly, tell us like what's happening in the world of Pudgy. What are you excited about apart from this?
Yeah,
Apart from this.
I think it's ironic that you asked about Pudgy, the Pudgy World. There's actually a game we've been building called Pudgy World, which is probably our sprint that we're going to release in the next couple of weeks. It's right at the finish line here. I think tentative date is probably, I think, March 10th internally. So we'll see if we can ship it on that date. That's probably the first big thing. I think the second one is just keeping the vibes high, making sure that community is happy. Obviously the crypto market's not doing the best right now. But Pudgy Penguin is bear market agnostic in the sense that we try to make everyone feel like they're a part of a family, and that it's bigger than just what today's price is. So I think the focus for us is how do we lean into community more? How do we provide as much value as we can in markets like this, and create experiences that people can kind of get together and get the whole family involved is hopefully the goal.
Yeah, I saw the pop-up store in New York as well. That was pretty cool. That came around the same time that we launched the Pudgy card.
Yeah.
Yeah, the IRL stuff, you guys are killing it on that. So
more pop-ups coming this year. I think we're leaning big into experiential retail.
Yeah.
If you have your Pudgy Penguin KAST card, more ability to use it in the real world at those pop-ups. So, but you should probably see about 3 to 4 more pop-ups this year, and probably the next ones are going to be a lot more high production. This one was a little ad hoc, knowing that we wanted to do something for Valentine's Day. But the goal is to have like a real experiential retail pop-ups, at least 3 or 4 throughout the world over the course of the year. And hopefully the big part, I think, on these next ones are going to be the experience, like really doing high budget setups, etc.
I got a question for you. How did people even find out about this pop-up? Like, obviously the community must be strong. There's like lineups out the door. New York's a big city, obviously, but like, yeah. And I think that the second question for you is like, where are the markets or the regions are just like super strong? I know you come out to Asia a lot, and it's very strong here, but like, the US, like, where is big for you guys?
Yeah, there's probably a couple hotspots. I think, any major metropolitan city in the US, I think we've kind of got conquered. I think we've had trouble, really permeating throughout middle America, but I think that's kind of the nature of businesses like this. And so obviously like Miami, New York, Los Angeles, we do something, we're going to bring a lot of people out in those main cities. I'd probably say, probably the next 5 after that within the States, we probably bring a lot of people out. But unbeknownst to most, I think probably the most people would bring out if we were to do an event, probably be like Seoul or Singapore. Obviously, we just did something together in Hong Kong. We also have a lot of momentum in the major cities in Asia, specifically the ones that have like that English crossover. And so, Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, we have a really big community in the major metropolitan cities within Asia as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we see it a lot in Asia, but super excited in the US as well.
The KAST card is agnostic, right? It doesn't matter if I'm in Asia or in the US. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, the business is a little complicated to issue everywhere because
Yeah.
we still have to jump through all the hoops of like Visa and MasterCard. But yeah, it is pretty much available everywhere, minus a few countries where it's not available. So actually, that takes us to a nice little story as to how you and I actually met. It was actually funny. It was straight after we launched KAST. I think we were like 2 months in after launching KAST. Pudgy was huge already, and KAST was still working its way up. And I think I was sitting in Korea Blockchain Week in the lounge, just a hotel lounge, and you sort of swang past, and we had a common friend, Alex Sivanek, and who it was like, I was like, "Can you help me out with Luca? Like, I'm sure we need a Pudgy card." But most people don't know that was like nearly a year and a half ago, pretty much, right? And then sort of the conversation sort of went back and forth, and obviously you guys are doing so much stuff, and we also had to sort of grow a lot. And then it came together probably like 6 months ago where we started talking about this seriously. And yeah, like super excited for it to come together. I think for us, it's exciting because firstly, like let's talk about the card designs. Like they just look dope. It's like it was the artistic. For people that were wondering, the artistic direction came obviously straight from Pudgy, from the Pudgy team. So yeah, thanks for popping that up. But they just look so cool. Like, and we have some. By the way, we already have some pretty cool cards. We have these cool Solana cards, and we have all this other stuff. But it's just so well designed, and I think that's probably part of why the reception's been so strong, because I think people are just like, I just want this card. Like you can't really explain it. Forget about all the other benefits. It's just the card looks so cool. Like what's your feel on it, Luke? What's your feel on it? Like you happy with it?
Yeah, I agree completely. And I think that just speaks to the power of IP, right? And specifically the Pudgy Penguins IP. I think, when you take this character that I think is just so well drawn and illustrated, and you throw it on things like this, you kind of see the magic come to life. So I'm super grateful for this partnership. And when you're doing the circuit, which is that's where I met you. You don't know who you're running into or what you're bumping into. I probably would have spent more time with you in those early days, because I think you're on a straight shot to the moon. So congratulations to all the people in the KAST ecosystem, both as a community and as venture investors. And obviously now we're a part of that journey with you. But it's been beautiful to see, and what amazing growth over the last year and a half. I mean, you've only been doing this for a year and a half. You're probably a couple months away from being unequivocally the biggest crypto card, or maybe you already are. I don't know. You would know.
Yeah, I think my stats were probably like number 2. There's one emerging market player that's started a long time ago, but I think we're catching them. So we're probably not that far off being number 1. It definitely got scale, and definitely it's a funny thing. Even through the last 4 months, we've grown like more than 100%, and that really says like you're growing that level through a bear market. Basically, it shows that like people are really finding utility outside of just crypto. I was like, imagine crypto was going great, like how much we would be growing, So yeah, no, it's been a wild ride. Honestly, I think the timing is great because we, as a company, had to grow and get the product in the right place. The Pudgy brand is so well respected. We would only want to do quality, right? Like we wouldn't want to do this like, and so we need the app to be in a place where it's high quality. The cards are high quality. We've gone and built cards for ourselves and other part, mainly Solana otherwise before. And so I think the amazing thing is that most people don't appreciate how much effort actually goes into getting one of these cards made. Like we have to go and work with the menu. Like it seems like it's just, you just draw it and it comes up and it's done. It's absolutely not the case. Like we have to go down to a manufacturing facility down in New Jersey. We have to go and work with them. We have to go and prototype it. We have to prototype it again and prototype it again. We actually prototype, I think, I have to check with Brad, but I think we prototyped like maybe 30 cards or something, and we threw away like, let's say 27 of them to get to these 3, right? Color variations and so many different things before you land on it. Most people haven't seen the physical ones yet. They're going to be out soon, but the physical looks even better than the virtual. Like you can see the etching on the cards. There's just so much detail to it. It's definitely going to be an item that people want. We're going to have 3 different versions of it. But it's honestly like some of us have been lucky enough to see it in person, and it's a magical piece of work. I think also the one funny thing about cards is like it's this one thing in crypto that you can physically hold and actually show people. Obviously, Pudgy with your toys and various other things are cool as well. But it's one of the funny things that like people thought that cards were kind of done, right? Because everyone is going to Apple Pay and touch. But I think when this comes up, people are going to go, I want the Pudgy card. I want the physical, like the virtual is cool, but I want the actual physical card so I can show people just how cool it actually is.
It's like a collectible, even that gold one.
The gold one is definitely collectible, and there's a solid gold one coming as well, which is the real, I think, the ultra collectible. And we'll do more. We'll collaborate on more together as well over time as well, right? So they'll get cooler and cooler. Yeah, I think it's just one of these like retro things that maybe make a comeback, where instead of flashing your Apple Pay, you actually still pull out the card because it's literally so cool that you want to show people, right? So yeah, excited to get them in people's hands as well. Tell me, Luca, about the community. I want to hear about this because I obviously knew the Pudgy community was strong. We were super excited about the partnership, but I'll tell you, there's always things that surprise you, right? And I think one of the things that surprised me was just the sheer amount of community-led content that was created around this card. I started getting all these videos that were made through AI and all these other things. I was like, who made these things? Like, I didn't even I was like, is this official content? And like, no, just a community made it, right? And that I just never seen that level of scale in crypto of like community-led content creation, right? And yeah, just tell me a little bit about. I like explain it to me almost like how's the community so strong and so like it takes effort to go and build these things themselves for no real reward except to just post it around. They still have to go and create all this content. Yeah, like how did you get the community so strong? Like why are they so fanatical about it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I've been saying for a while now that I think the Pudgy Penguin community is the most powerful community in crypto, and I think one of the best places where I think brands like yourself can align. I just think you can't go and find a place, especially when you look at the demographics and how borderless we are, and then just obviously the split between men and women, I think is so unique specifically for a crypto company. And to be honest, it's really these guys and gals, and it really makes my job so easy. And so I give them all their flowers every time I can give it to them, because with a community like that, it's easy to get deals done. And that's probably like one of my strongest suits, is identifying what partnerships we can do and going out and tackling those initiatives, and having a community that actually shows up and delivers their end of the bargain. Specifically, sometimes we've done things with the community that like around products and initiatives they just don't want. And I think it's been interesting to see, which partnerships they like and they really lean into and which ones they don't. And so just really understanding their wants and needs and trying to cater to their wants and needs to the best of their ability. But I think when you look at the community, there's just an unbelievable respect from the team to the community. I think the community respects the team. We've always tried to meet them where they are. We've always tried to give. We've never tried to take from them. And I think just doing that over years, just kind of, around an IP that is so magical, that's so universal, the mantra and the ethos around being a Pudgy Penguin community member is just trying to make people happy and just trying to be there for one another. And I think just years of that, you ultimately build a camaraderie, right? There's no real reason for, people in the huddle to be upset at us meaning the team. There's no real reason for, other community members to be mad at each other. Obviously we're a family, and there's, been fights here or there, like every family has, but, we always come out of it stronger and better. And I think just years of this, kind of, walking this line and pulling this thread ultimately kind of creates what you have today, which actually leads me to a question to you, Rags. Like, you obviously knew we were doing this partnership. Has this met your expectation? Has this exceeded your expectation? Like, what did you think this would actually produce? I'm actually curious to ask you on somebody on the other side of the equation.
It's actually interesting because I knew that it would be cool. So I knew it would be cool, but I didn't actually, frankly, appreciate the power of the Pudgy brand or the community, right? I think to me the biggest thing was just, okay, like you can talk by the numbers, 100,000 signups in a day, obviously speaks for itself, right? And we checked it, by the way. This is like, we removed the botted signups and all of the usual stuff that comes. This is like 100,000 legit signups. This is after we did the clear outs, right? So that's like legit people. So that, yeah, by the numbers blew me away, right? But the second thing I think was just this content thing. I was just like, how are like people so into this thing to go and like create all this content about it? I think there was like, I think Pepper's got the exact stats. I think it's more than 10,000 posts. It really is sort of like blown my expectations, right? And I think to us as well, honestly, since we launched, people know us for having the Solana card early. That was one of the things we did first. We've had so many brands ask us to create a card for them. I would more than 20 of the major crypto brands may probably, I get an email like every few days asking for a collab card, right? And my partnership team probably hates me because I just say no, 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 no. I have this like ridiculous bar, right? The ridiculous bar is like, if we can do a partnership, we've got to make 1 million cards from the partnership, right? We've got to get like 1 million users. If you don't tell me that's going to happen, then like the effort that honestly we have to go through to physically make the cards, it costs us crazy amounts of money. Like I have guys flying out to New Jersey to go to the manufacturing plant and test it, and because we don't do things by halves either, right? And this is why I think the partnership is so good, because both of us care about quality, and we'll go to extreme lengths to make sure the quality standards are extremely high. So after Solana, this is the only other brand partnership of a card that we've ever done, right? And I honestly don't know if we'll do any more, right? We'll definitely get asked, but I honestly don't think we'll do any more. So that I think has been a nice reciprocal part of the partnership, right? You guys did an impeccable job in designing the card. We did our bit to go and make sure the manufacturing, which is something that is, something we're well versed in, and probably new to you guys. We took that bit on to make sure it was done, and showed you guys, make sure we narrowed down to the ones that were really good. And I think that has just led to a blockbuster launch, right? So yeah, totally blew my expectations, but I think it's because it's the right partnership. It's one that your community wanted. It's one we leaned into very hard. We spent a lot of money, before launch on just investing in getting the approvals from Visa and all the stuff that comes with it. But most people don't think it just happens, but it's like, honestly, it probably hundreds of thousands of dollars towards $1 million to actually get this out the door and done properly, right?
Yeah, it was the right partnership. I agree with that. I also am super stoked. And just so you know, through and through, working with you guys has been absolutely incredible. So just kudos to your team, Pepper, the rest of the crew. You guys have been phenomenal to work with, so I appreciate it. Yeah,
absolutely. It's been great. Okay, cool. I think we're like halfway in, and I think we've been told that the thing that people most want to know about is the actual code that they can use. So do you want to put up the code itself? You know what? I had it here. Here we go. Okay, this code is valid only for 2 hours. So you can sign up to KAST here, and this is the code for you to unlock the early Pengu cards. So we're going to leave this up here. This is for the special for the people that join the live stream and have got it. I think it's like 9 a.m. ET or 9:20 ET. So I think this will be good to just before midday Eastern Standard Time in the US and wherever you guys are. So the access code is Pengu card, valid only for 2 hours. If you got a KAST account, you can go into your KAST account, and there's a place where you can unlock the card. If you haven't signed up, it takes about 3 minutes to sign up. You just need KYC super quickly, and you're in. And then you can go and unlock with this early access code. Yeah, I think excited for that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, do we have a trick to code anyway? Do we have any questions, I guess, from the live stream or anything else you want to talk about, Luca?
I think off the top of my head, not initially, but I will say I am super excited to get my physical card. I got the Solana. I had a Solana Gold KAST card. And so that thing is absolutely amazing, but I can't wait for my Pudgy Penguins physical to come in the mail. I'm really excited for that.
Of course. And I think we're going to do something special when we deliver it to you. Like, we're going to do something crazy. Maybe a pudgy penguin in a helicopter or something, skydiving. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure out what we can make happen.
I did want to talk to you about this in private, but I don't mind talking about it in public. I would love to get this, some of these cards in the hands of some, big celebrities and DJs. And, I think there's like a whole gifting element, kind of like maybe we do like a little ice box and they got to crack the box open, something experiential. But if you wanted to do it, we'll plant that seed. I'd be more than open and willing to, dig into our Rolodex and see what big players we can get, using the card. And I will say, if you are a crypto native user, functionally, this is like something you just physically, I think, need. I think it's almost irresponsible not to have something like this, a crypto card in general, but why not go with the best and get a cute pudgy penguin collectible card? But they're just the whole experience in the app and, paying the bill. It's just seamless, exactly how I think all crypto users, want in terms of a credit card experience. So definitely use that code Pengu card. It's a lot of alpha in that code.
Yeah, for sure. And look, over time, you guys who come in early will, have ability to say you had one of the first ones. I think also one thing that we talked a lot about is the crypto card element. But actually what we're seeing now, especially with the KAST app, you can deposit dollars via ACH in the US, and many other ways you can actually deposit cash and withdraw cash as well. One of the cool things about this card is that I think it goes beyond crypto people. Obviously, for crypto people know who the Prodigy brand is, but it's actually just so cool that I showed it to people who are not my friends who are not in crypto. I got a bunch of, very boring doctors, engineers, lawyer type friends who are definitely not in crypto. And they're like, hey, that's so cool. I actually want one, right? I don't know if that's good or bad for the brand that people of those professions actually want one or not. But what I'm saying is that people outside of like Web3 actually want one, because it is just such a fresh looking card. And I think as we make the app available to more non-crypto people as well, I think that's one of the big things that's happening as well. And I think maybe that's a good point. I spoke to a lot of the Pudgy team here that are out in Asia for in Hong Kong last week. So tell us a little bit about how you guys are going with the non-crypto space, the Web2 space. That's also a big thing for you guys.
Yeah. Obviously I've always believed in, growing and expanding the pie rather than looking inwards and like how to take value from within the pie. That always seemed really counterintuitive for us. And so obviously the vision for the Pudgy Penguins brand was like, look, I think we have the most universal character, crypto native IP to ever come in existence. I think now the metrics kind of support the fact that I think we are the biggest and most active community within this realm. I think probably there might be like an exception to the, Bitcoin Chads and maybe the Solana, manlets. And, there's probably, within the top ecosystems, maybe one or two that, might have a little more, diehard fans just because they've been around longer. But I think ultimately, like, we are on the path to building the biggest and best community, if not already within crypto. But to do that, you have to go outside of crypto and bring people in. And I think, when you just look at the whole ecosystem, whether it's Pengu or the NFTs or doing partnerships like these, like with these credit cards, it's just so many different levers and facets that people can pull and kind of explore, and rabbit holes that can kind of go down, that I think that's kind of what makes the experience awesome. And so, from the business side, it's probably a little hard to segment. Like, I very much actually treat the company like two different businesses. We have a Web3 side of the business and we have a Web2 side of the business. They don't really commingle as much as people would think. But learning Web3, if you're a Web2 illustrator or Web2 partnerships guy, even though our partnerships guy, Steve, has done an amazing job inserting himself within the community, they're kind of hard to wrap your head around. But I think we've done a really good job in terms of, creating that cross-pollination. I think today our goal is really, creating, I think on the product side, we got a little confused in the early first couple of years. I think now we have a really clear direction in terms of how are we going to grow, and really create real fandom, right? Like, I think we've had a hard time creating extreme fandom, maybe the way that I think our, Web3 community has within the Web2 world. I think that's beginning to change over the last couple of months, and we're starting to see real diehard Pudgy Penguin super fans. I mean, people are getting married, know nothing about the crypto business, and they have Pudgy Penguin cakes, that they split during the wedding. When I saw some dude recently, well, we've been getting this for years, but we'll get comments saying like that, this brand saved me from hurting myself, from, taking my own life. Like, it's the one thing that makes me happy in the world. And, understanding that, like, with great power comes great responsibility, and we just want to make more of an impact. And so really doubling down on our product integrity, our experiential retail strategy, which, just want to give people a safe and fun space to kind of be themselves. And I think that's kind of the mantra that's going to break through on the Web 2 side, that we're really going to lean into over the next couple of years. But for us, I think this is the time now to hit escape velocity. We've been building the foundation for many years. I think the community trusts us. They believe in us, at least on the Web3 and crypto side. The goal here over the next couple of years is to really grow the Web 2 side even bigger than what it is today, and converge the two. I think that's probably like the big challenge that's ahead of us over the next couple of years. Because I think when you think convergence, it can be really intimidating. And I actually love this partnership. And I was telling the community this in the Inner Igloo just this Sunday, so a couple days ago. But I actually think the KAST card and this partnership, and this credit card in specific, will serve as one of the great convergent mechanisms within our partnership. And one of the things that we haven't done yet, and I'm really just waiting to kind of split test what the Web3 pull is and kind of see, but we haven't even pushed this to our Web2 audience yet, which I'm really excited for, right? How do we dig into our email list, go to our big socials, and promote this to them? Because if you actually think about understanding the financial element of Pudgy Penguins, what better way to kind of get your beak wet and to get your first exposure to that than a credit card, right? Something that's super familiar, that is a financial instrument, right? But isn't maybe as intimidating as a crypto token or as digital collectibles might be. And so I actually think this is going to play a huge part in our roadmap. So I never communicated this to you, but I'm glad I am now, because I actually think this is this middleware, I called it. And I actually like that term, right? I think it's that middleware in between, like, converging our Web 2 audience into, really being like devout token holders and digital collectible collectors. I think the first step to getting there might just be this KAST credit card. Because I've taken an unorthodox approach. A lot of people have always wondered, Luca, why haven't you made that convergence yet? Because I believe conversion is a process, not an action. And I feel, and I don't believe in forcing things down people's throats, especially if they don't want it. And obviously crypto for a while has been a little taboo, a little intimidating, especially just for like mass market consumers. But I think this is a really great first entry point into understanding the financial infrastructure and the financial element of the Pudgy Penguin brand. And so I'd feel really good promoting this, on our Instagram and on our TikTok and on our Facebook and on our YouTube, because I think it's very synergistic with, I think, the next step, which is like, how do you become a token holder or a digital collector? But this to me is the middleware, I believe. So I'm excited to split test it. Again, I want to see kind of what the Web3 momentum brings and kind of what that tops off at. But once we feel like we've just, pushed to everybody in crypto that we possibly can, I then want to open the floodgates to the Web2 side and see how many swipe ups and see what type of momentum we can get on that side of the spectrum.
Yeah, and look, the lesson that we've learned at KAST is this is a compounding. It's a result of compounding. Like, we're doing really, really well right now, but it's because we've just compounded over the last 20 months, month after month. Bull market or bear market. I do know that, like, I'll let out a secret that, like, during the moments before we launched the card, the markets were terrible. Not Pudgy related or KAST related, just markets were terrible. And so we did have a moment of pause to go, should we launch this now? Is it the right time? Bitcoin, fell to like 60K. Everything's getting hammered, right? I felt that, hey, let's just push ahead, because anyway, it takes time for people to download and get traction and start using the product. And actually, the magic for me, actually, the the launch obviously is very cool. The cards are cool. People get into people's hands. But to me, the real test will come in about a year's time, because it takes time for people to start using a new product, a card product. They have to switch from something else. They have to get comfortable with it. They have to love it. And so that we know, we can see the stats. Like, it starts slowly, and then eventually they're just like, this is a top of wallet. It's a thing that I'm using all the time, right? So I think the decision was good to just push ahead, bull market or bear market, no matter how bad the circumstances were. And I think the response has shown that people actually just want a product like this, right? Regardless of the fact of what markets are doing, and I think markets will bounce back over time as well. Yeah, I think we just have so much more exciting stuff to come. I'm sure we'll have special cards come out on top of these three in time. We'll be doing like the Icebox and all celebrity collabs, and I think it's just the beginning as well, right? And we also collaborate on a lot of parties and crypto events as well throughout the year.
We have some events together. We have a lot of events together, I think, this year.
Yeah, we have a lot of events together. So I think this is just going to get stronger and stronger as the year progresses. Yeah, that's there you go. That was our first one.
To that point, I know we just get way more engagement in a bull market, right? Like, I've just seen the data. It's probably like 2-3 times whatever we get now. So just talking about the results and the signups, I'm super stoked. And obviously, to your point, it just shows that people want the product. But in a market where we're getting more likes and more retweets, obviously it's more eyeballs. I'm actually I personally, to the question that I asked you, in a bull market, I thought we would for sure, hit those metrics. In a market where, half of, our audience is just like putting the phone down and touching grass, was really surprising. So, whatever we do here over the next couple of months, I totally agree. I think it's going to compound and get bigger and better. And, this is one of those partnerships that I think is an evergreen champion for us. Like, this is not something that I think we post one day and we don't post again. It's such a useful product. And I think it's almost like a utility for holders and people in the community and the ecosystem. And what a cool little status symbol if you're at, a hot pot in Hong Kong and you go and pay, with your Pudgy Penguin credit card with a bunch of crypto folks or non-crypto folks. I think you're going to get a visceral positive reaction from both parties.
Yeah, for sure. And look, the average, I'll share a stat with you. The average KAST user uses their card 30 times a month. So at least once a day. That's the average. Now, there's people that spend it, 60 to 100 times a month. And if you add in all the transactions they do, including swapping stable coins and everything, it's about 50 times a month. So it's a very, very sticky product. And that's also another cool thing, right? Because a lot of Pudgy stuff, I'm sure you buy and you keep it there and you talk about it, but this is something that you're like tapping every day. It's in your face all the time, right? And I think that's one very sort of unique aspect to the partnership as well.
Link Ventures, you can't forget about us, Rags, on the way to the moon.
Yeah, we'll both go to the moon together, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, look, it's been what can I say? I'm super excited as well. I haven't been to one of your infamous parties, Art Basel Miami, but I'm definitely going to be in Miami. I think we're going to do one together. So I'm pacing myself through the year so we can get to that, almost the finale at the end of the year. I've heard amazing things about it. But yeah, look, overall, just super excited. Glad we were able to bring this together. I think it's just the beginning of a lot more as well. Also, just from myself as the founder and CEO of KAST, I think one of the major things is like we've built a great product, but we're still evolving the product every day, and we have a huge pipeline of new features and new products, and so many ways we could improve as well. So we're always open to feedback. Look at that! Someone just paid for the dinner with Pengu card. Go Chin Sanity. Yeah, so we're always looking for feedback as well. We think we've created a great product in the card, but the overall app experience, everything, we want it to be best in market. I think one of the unique things about both of our brands is that we also care a lot about brand, right? There's so many other crypto cards and stuff out there, but they're just sort of random. We've always cared a lot about brand, and brand is all encompassing, right? Obviously, it's going to look super cool. People are going to want to feel attached to it, but it's also just the service that you deliver afterwards as well. So yeah, I think most people have know where to get me. Sometimes much like I'm sure our DMs are like overblown, but I do genuinely try to take direct feedback from people if there's issues and pass it through the team to try to get things resolved as well, or roll out new features and whatever else as well. So yeah, great partnership. I don't know what else, if you've got more, Luca, or if the team want us to call out much more, but yeah, over to you, Luca, to wrap up.
Yeah, no, I love doing this, Rags. A pleasure as always. Super excited for our partnership. For everybody watching, you should definitely use the code below, Pengu card. Be one of those first early Pengu card holders. Would love to see you participate like Chinsanity and buy some dinner, buy some Pudgy products with the card. And I think this is a great lever and a huge piece of our roadmap moving forward. So Rags, excited to partner with you on it. And kudos for you for building an amazing business. What a run. And I think your run's just getting started here. So I think you're going to be one of the great fintech stories of the decade. So I'm excited to be on this journey with you in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a dream partnership both ways, I think, and we're both excited to keep building together. I think actually, like, one final little comment for me is that maybe because I'm older, I look at these bear markets as actually the best opportunity of all, right? Because you just grind so much harder. And we know that a bull market always comes after a bear market, right? So it's just a matter of time. For those who are down and touching grass, as Lucas said, like, it's just a matter of time before things turn. And we're just fully committed to building. We're head down building Pudgy. And I think towards the end of the year, in the second half, things are going to start moving positively forward. So yeah, Justin Lewis, great to see you got the card. Yeah, excited for the partnership, Luca. I don't know if you got anything else, but otherwise, you'll see us around collaborating a lot more on the card and parties, and let's just keep it rolling. We've got Q&A next, I've been told by my team. Any Q&A? I'll look in the comments. Any giveaway today? You got the Pengu card link.
The card is virtual and physical. We got the questions rolling.
Yeah.
But I have no specific questions. But yeah, Rags, I mean, this is awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to say the least.
Singapore's coming back soon. We're working on it.
Yeah. Any major regions you guys are not in today, or you think you got pretty much most of them covered?
We've got pretty much most regions covered. Obviously, not sanctioned countries, clearly, and there's some countries which are a little bit more difficult because of the local regulation, including Canada and Singapore at the moment. But we're working with partners to be able to bring it back in those regions as well. We just obviously we're ultimately, like, we want to build a generational company, and so we have to do that in a way that's respectful to regulators as well. And so the crypto people obviously want to put it everywhere. We absolutely do, but we also have to play by the rules a little bit here as well, make sure that we are doing it in the right way. But yeah, there's not too many regions. Yeah.
Nice.
And if you've got a current KAST card, you can have this one as well. And you can just switch around which one you want to actually use.
Nice. Oh, so I can switch.
You can switch, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you just have to change it in your Apple Pay. So yeah. Does the card work in Antarctica? If there's a Visa machine in Antarctica, it absolutely will. We should probably do that. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe, Luca, you and I go to Antarctica and we swipe the card.
That would be fun. That's a fun piece of content for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I don't know if there's too much. I think most are comments rather than questions. Yeah,
that's good, honestly. If there's, I'd love to. You can answer this one.
No, we do it in tiers of like standard, premium, and gold. So it's the same sort of like cashback and point scheme for now. But these are things that are going to evolve as well. Like I think as we get more better down, like there's many things I think we can collab on and many more ideas on that as well.
Well, yeah, to speak on this point, obviously, our sides are having conversations, but I would love to just separately see who's holding a Pengu card and is benefiting the ecosystem, and obviously there's ways to see how we can reward those users. So that's not baked into the models, but something that I'm definitely gonna be talking to Rags about.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a few questions on people around like when do they actually get the physical card? So we've seen the physical on the team. We've seen the physical cards. We know that they're there. It's just so I'm not going to bore most people with it, but it's a huge manufacturing process that actually takes. So we've actually started the manufacturing process. I've been told they come in April and May, but we're very dependent on this manufacturer who does a high quality job. I've seen the invoice go out to pay for thousands of these cards already. So we've already paid for them. So yeah, they should be coming over a process over, I think, April and May is when they'll be landing. So not too far off, but you can use a virtual one right now.
Nice.
Cool. I think we're good, Luca. Otherwise, we'll be what's the craziest thing I bought with a Pengu card? Well, I think we paid for the extra drinks we bought at the party with the Pengu card. So that was a nice, wacky bill. So maybe that's the craziest, but I'm sure there's going to be someone buying a Lambo or something, and if they do, post it so we can see it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, Rags,
cool. All right, I think to wrap up, and thanks, Luca, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see you soon. Have a great day, and it's night for me, so I'll be heading to bed. But thank you all, and we'll wrap up there.
Be well. Thank you, Rags. Pleasure as always.
Pleasure's all mine, man.
And use Pengu card. You guys probably have an hour and a half left. Early access code Pengu card. Bye, guys.
See ya.